Elizabeth Vilchis. She is, in fact, a young dreamer, and she's got a question for you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me, first of all, and for letting me be part of the discussion. Growing up here in America, one thing I always heard was that there was a shortage of individuals who entered careers of science, engineering, and technology. And so I decided to be part of the solution. I actually earned a degree in mechanical engineering. I have a career in the technology sector, and I've spent almost a decade working with students, getting them to focus on entering careers in engineering. And I stand to lose all the work that I've done if the new administration decides to end DACA, which is the program that allows undocumented individuals like myself to have the ability to work. It's not an immigration status, it's just the ability to work. I will lose my career. My career will come to an end if that program ends. And I will also potentially be labeled for deportation, which means that I'm going to be removed from the communities that I've contributed to so much. And so as 2017 starts, I'd like to ask for your advice. How would you advise somebody like me for planning my future and what lays ahead?
Yeah. My own personal story is my father came to this country and was 7 years old. And the reason he came when he was 7 years old is because he wasn't allowed to come here.
Wait, how old
until he was 7 years old.
I was 7.
So, he was 7 years old.
Right. So, and he wasn't allowed to come because there was a law in place that he couldn't come. My grandfather was here and spent the first 7 years living in America, working in America, but was not allowed to be with his family because of the immigration laws at the time. And I remember asking my father how, and he was in Mussolini's Italy. Not a very, very, very pleasant place to be. And I remember asking him, and he hated Italy because it was a horrible childhood in his mind. And I asked him, I said, you know, did you ever resent America? He said, no, America was worth the wait. It was worth doing it the right way. And I think what most people in America feel is that you've been given a tremendous benefit by being here in this country. You just described something that I don't know what country that your parents came from. But my guess is you wouldn't have had the opportunities to be able to accomplish what you have. My final point is you have the ability to go to any other country right now and apply those wares and be successful, and then reapply to come back to America if you so choose.
So, Senator,
can I answer you?
Sure.
First of all, this is your country. No matter what he says, no matter what anybody else says, this is your country. And I, as an American,
not what the law says.
I, as an American, thank you for the contributions you are making to our joint country. I want you here. Now, if you're asking me my advice as to what you can do, I think what you're doing right now, anonymity is no longer an option for people like you. The government knows who you are. The government knows where you are. The government knows what you do. They have registered for this program. You've got to tell your stories and change and affect public opinion because your stories are beautiful. They're the stories of the American dream.
Thank you. Thank you.
You get the last word, man.
Yeah. So, Senator, your grandfather had to stay there. I didn't have a choice. I was brought here. I didn't understand what my situation was until I was much older, and I was already contributing to my community. I don't know if you're familiar with immigration laws, but immigration can be very difficult depending on what country you come from. I come from Mexico, which means that, and I contemplated this when I was graduating high school because I was so desperate, I had begged my parents to let me go back home. But what that meant is that I would have to go back home, and I'm banned for 10 years. And Mexicans are just, no matter how talented you are, no matter what you've contributed, there's just no way to get back. And that's the reason a lot of people risk their lives to come here.
I bet that touches you, Senator.
No, it's tragic to hear that. I have said that we need to relook at reentry, and 10 years is punitive. I would agree with that. We could probably make it a shorter period of time, but as much as I'm sympathetic with you, I'm also. You should recognize the gift that America has given you, and that you can give to the world.
I gotta take this break. I gotta eat. Okay, so listen, I want to thank Ana Navarro and Rick Santorum. Love them.